Though there is a great opportunity for the use of wastewater or seawater as an unconventional source of new potable water, or even for non-potable water use. The acceptance of the use of these new sources of water is still not fully accepted, especially in terms of reusing wastewater into drinking water, for example. And even not for drinking water, even for the thought of reusing the water into something that is has a near body experience. So drinking water would be the ultimate use for that one. So the perception is an important aspect that we need to consider if we are to if we are to proceed on a project that involves wastewater, right? So most especially if the project is about for portable purposes or for drinking purposes, because there's a lot of psychology involved in this matter. The public perception is an important factor in the success of a specific project, even especially related to water. So let's take, for example, in these photos here, in these figures here, what do you think comes to mind? What comes to mind when you look at these figures? So even though these figures are just basically food, and they are food, yes, but they are presented in such a way that that will give you some imagination, and this imagination is more of psychological thing. And so having to look at this one and also try to relate into something, then most probably you will have a yuck factor or a yuck feeling, because you are relating these photos into something that is not so mentally appetizing. All right, so this is what we call as the yuck factor. It's the same way when we talk about wastewater, that from wastewater and then change or transforming it into potable water. So the process in between is another issue, but even with just the thinking of you are drinking a water that used to be from your toilet, for example, is not so appealing to the masses or to the community. So this is one of the barriers for the acceptance of this kind of process, especially from wastewater. Because desalination is a better case, because at least in desalination, the source water is from seawater. So seawater in itself is not very dirty to the mind, or not very dirty at all, in fact. But for wastewater, it's a different case, because wastewater, of course, is a mixture of so many yuck things, or so many not so appealing things. And so this is something that we need to discuss as well, about the community acceptance on the reuse of water, or wastewater reuse. So with that, we'll be discussing what approaches we can do in order to increase the chances of the public to understand and accept the potential use of treatment process in order to produce a quality that is at par or even beyond the standards, the standards that are required for that water quality coming from a wastewater treatment process. All right, so this will be discussed in our stakeholder engagement part. Use. The one main issue about, especially with the use of or with wastewater reuse or recycled water schemes, is the public perception, and this is a very important aspect, because the public can say a lot about a project or an issue, and they are very influential as well if everybody will move. So in this case, a number of headlines shown the way people think about recycled water. Like for example, in CNN in 2014, the headline says recycled water schemes have been historically shut down by public disgust at the concept, even at the concept of drinking your water from your toilet, for example. reclaim wastewater for drinking, safe but still a tough sell. So this is still because of public perception. Would you drink treated sewage water? Trick question. You already are. So basically, this is another headline. What they're saying is that we are actually doing the indirect potable reuse naturally. So people didn't really think like that, but they're only thinking about the source, not about what's going on in a natural case. So this is something that we need to understand how to approach properly in order for changing the perceptions of the community. So in this sense, this is important that in order for us to convince the community, we have to engage them. We have to let them know what we are working on, what are the benefits of that, and let them know properly that we care and we want to listen to their concerns with regards especially to water reuse, wastewater reuse. Because without community support, in most cases, the project or any water related project would eventually fail. And we have a number of experiences and history tells us that if you don't engage your community properly, then eventually you will not be successful in that project. And one of the main issues is the public resistance or react factor with regards with the use of wastewater from the wastewater source. So with here, we will be discussing more about the various factors on community acceptance of wastewater reuse. There are many factors that affect that, and we need to understand these factors in order for us to know exactly how to address them and what strategy we are going to use. So we'll discuss that in the next video.